Hello, this is Sharon Versyp. This is the last episode of Women's March Madness. Boy, what a treat we had with those 3 games this past weekend. The 2 semifinals and then the national championship. Before we get to that, a little overview, we're going to have some guests on from USCB, our athletic director, Quin Monahan, and then my partner, Coach Ron Fudala, the men's basketball coach for USCB. And so we're really anxious to share what we're all about and the location and about adding men and women's basketball. So let's first talk about the semifinal game. You had LSU starting out playing Virginia Tech. And the game went back and forth the whole time. I don't think anybody had a leg on one another. And then in the fourth quarter, LSU really put their defense on, got a lot of steals, kind of took control of the game over the last 5 minutes, and really just changed the tide. And so they ended up winning. Virginia Tech had an amazing season, first time in program history going there, and they have a lot of returners back for next year. Then the late game was South Carolina, the defending champions, obviously undefeated against Iowa. Everybody was talking about the Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark matchup. And as we went through that game, it was back and forth and one for the ages, almost amazing viewership, one of the best ever in that game. Caitlin Clark had 41 points that night, so she just was just at another level. It was very hard to stop her. Leah Boston was in foul trouble the first half, came out in the second half, and they just really sagged off players, got out rebounded. You look at the stat sheet, everything, you would have thought it was South Carolina's way. But when it came down to it, you know, Caitlin Clark and her teammates just played one of the best games they've ever played. So Iowa got on top of that. Well, then we go to the championship game, LSU versus Iowa. And that game was highly anticipated as well. So it was the most viewers, 9.9 million viewers, one of the just exponential, one of the best crowds through the whole entire season. But to be able to have that, so many people viewing, great offensive game, 102, that was a record, to 85. Both teams got in foul trouble. And it was really difficult. And so they never really kind of got in a rhythm. And then nobody could really touch each other. So just an amazing offensive game. Angel Reese had 15 points, 10 rebounds. She got in foul trouble in the first half. Caitlin Clark, 30 points, 8 assists. 3 LSU players with 20-plus points. And that's where it came down to. The first half, when 3 starters for LSU were sitting on the bench players, shining moment, Jasmine Carson, unbelievable, hit 5 for 5 3-pointers, scored 21 points. And the other players off the bench is what elevated the team and gave them such a big lead at halftime. So kudos to LSU, Kim Mulkey, second year. She really utilized the transfer portal. And she's got a great big personality, and she's able to coach big personalities. And again, what an amazing job to be able to mold and cultivate those relationships. And they could have beat anybody that night. No question. They were hot. They were in rhythm. Everything was going their way. So the motivation, everything that went into that. And so my top 5 All-Tourny team, most outstanding player was Angel Reese. Then you had Alexis Morris in the second half. She had 19 points just in the second half for LSU. And then Jasmine Carson, nobody knew about her. And there's no question that she should make that team, being 5 for 5, really carrying them when people were sitting on the bench. Then Iowa, obviously Caitlin Clark. And then Zaya Cook from South Carolina, their point guard as well. So those are the top 5. I know there's been a lot of talking back and forth about the situation with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. You know, you can't see me, and I'm not going to really go into much except that players play the game. They obviously don't have issues with it. It was kind of more social media and people, you know, we're talking about things. But these players know it's competitive. They don't have an issue. They both address that. And so, the bottom line is, you want to play, you want to be competitive, and you just don't want the viewers to see this. You wanted to see the excitement. It was unfortunate. You just wanted to see the growth of women's basketball. So other than that, what a great NCAA tournament this year. So again, congratulations to LSU, national champions. Now that March Madness is over and we've gone through this, anxious to start our program at USCB and looking forward to the opportunity to share what's ahead for all of us. So our next interview will be with Ron Fudala, our men's basketball coach.
University of South Carolina Beaufort has 3 beautiful locations near the beach: Bluffton, Beaufort, and Hilton Head Island. Our students find our small classes and personalized instruction very rewarding. The USCB Sand Sharks have added men's and women's basketball, and we are excited to be new provisional members of NCAA Division II and the Peach Belt Conference. Fins up from USCB.
With another kill. He shoots and he scores! Oh, big hit.
I'm blessed and honored to be the first head men's basketball coach here at this tremendous, student-centered and community-engaged university. The very first thing I want our future Sand Shark players to know is that I'm a passionate, I'm an energetic, and I'm a positive coach.
So excited for our next guest. He's my partner in crime, my counterpart, Ron Fudala, the head men's basketball coach. And Ron has brought so much energy to USCB and adding men and women's basketball. So welcome, Ron.
Coach Sharon, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here with not only a great counterpart, a great mentor, but just a great friend and a great person to be working with. I'm blessed to be here.
Absolutely. So, Ron, tell everybody a little bit about your background, where you grew up, kind of your footprint of playing ball and wanting to coach and get into this business.
So I grew up in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, which is a small town about an hour south of Pittsburgh. So my career has kind of taken me different places. But I tell everybody I grew up in Pittsburgh, but it's really Uniontown, Pennsylvania. I'm proud to say that. I had basketball was my entire life, really, from day one. Played all sports growing up, but freshman year in high school, played varsity ball, and really that was when people were starting to specialize in sports. You know, some people were saying, hey, man, I think you're going to be good. You should just specialize in basketball and forget the rest of the stuff. Don't regret anything about my life, but that was probably the worst decision I've ever made, trying to specialize. And if I could go back and do anything over, I'd play basketball and football, you know, and up through my senior year. But everything happens for a reason. So, yeah, it was played 3 years and blew my knee out my senior year. Different things happened. Had this is back in 2008. Different things happened. You know, had a series of circumstances. We were selling our house when I was younger, and I remember going through old papers, and I pulled out this box of like a 6th grade career paper. Why they were talking about careers in 6th grade, I have no idea. But my paper said, "What do you want to do when you're older, and how do you want to get there?" And it said, I want to be the head basketball coach at the University of Pittsburgh. And these are the steps I'm going to take to get there. And that was in 6th grade. Wow. And I was reading this when I was like a junior now. And I'm like, oh, wow, I really always knew that I wanted to be a basketball coach. So that's been kind of my aura. Like I said, I blew my knee out my senior year. I haven't played a real basketball game since my junior year in high school. I went to looked at some places, ended up going to Case Western Reserve University, a small school in Cleveland, because I thought that once my knee got rehabbed, I kind of had a sense of who I was as a player. And I thought that was the best place for me. I got to Case Western, and in our first practice, I blew my knee out again. My medical team was in Pittsburgh, so I transferred to Carnegie Mellon University. And I'm not that old, but it actually was before the transfer portal. So no transfer portal existed. So I'm not that old, but I'm not that young either. So no, transferred to Carnegie Mellon, and I really was going to play again. You know, I wanted to be closer to my medical team though with my rehab. Got to Carnegie Mellon, kind of blew my knee out again. So started coaching. You know, my sophomore year at Carnegie Mellon, coached high school basketball for 3 years. Chartiers Valley High School, got the opportunity and still went to Carnegie Mellon, but was just kind of there for school. I knew it was great education. I kind of tell everybody this, kind of used it as my backup plan. I think as a coach, there's a lot of things you can't control, and I thought I wanted to be strategic about that. So in case I get to year 20 in coaching and my 3 best players get hurt, and then all of a sudden we have a bad season, I wanted to have a fallback plan. So wanted to use my education for that purpose. Coach high school ball, then went out to Santa Clara University, was there for about 1.5 years, then went up to Portland State University, and then kind of found out what was important to me in coaching and went to a small school in Indiana, Pennsylvania for the last 5 years. And now we're here. So it's a great place to be, and blessed. Every step of my career, you try to pull things together and learn different things. And I think I've been fortunate enough to be able to do that.
Well, you know, Ron, when we talk about our journeys, obviously I'm a little older than you, but, you know, in 5th and 6th grade, I was playing on the boys basketball team, you know, because they didn't have girls then. So, you know, to date me a little bit. So, you know, when I was playing against the boys and then kind of had my journey, it's kind of the same thing. Coached high school for a while, was pretty successful, 7 years. And I was a restricted earnings coach, which didn't make much money when I was at Louisville. Then went to JMU 3 years as a top assistant. And then went to the University of Maine for 5, went to IU for 1. And then, you know, 15 years at my alma mater at Purdue, and did some great things there. You know, as we talked, you won with the national championship. I've been to 4 Big Ten championships, 2 Elite Eights, WNBA players. But it's the excitement is like you, being around people like you. And we talk about USCB and, you know, how we both got here. But, you know, you and I talk about, and this is part of selling, you know, USCB is like people talk family, but we feel family.
We feel family, and honestly, like you saying that, I got the chills right now a little bit, like, because that's what I live for. That's what we live for, and that's what I felt at USCB. And I think you know, you kind of, maybe this is wrong, or I hope it's not, but maybe in the back of your mind, you know, Purdue was your alma mater, it was your everything, and you kind of always knew in the back of your head, if you had the opportunity to get to Purdue, that's a place you'd want to lead a program, right? And me coming down here and feeling the family and being around the administration and the community, I felt that this was a place for me, and I was so excited. That first text I got, I promise you, I remember where I was at after we both got announced. I was literally sitting in my driveway. I own a very, very small home in Indiana, Pennsylvania. I was sitting there and I was pulling out of the driveway. It's like this steep driveway, got all these cracks in it because I haven't been able to fix it yet. But I remember sitting in my vehicle right there, and we're texting. I knew from day one, this is the place for us and where we want to be. And like we talk about all the time, every coach says it, right? Every coach says family. Some coaches, you know, preach it, you know, it's more a part of their program, but we live it, you know, it's every single day. It's not even a choice. It's who we are. And that's what's going to be special about our program in this community. It's going to be a community product, and it's family. You're going to have a family within a family. So the family is USCB. All right. And the family within the family is USCB basketball. Right. And within that family, when you choose to be with us, you're going to have connections outside of life. You're going to know all the coaches. You're going to know our assistants. You're going to know our players. We're all going to be at each other's games. And that's what the family atmosphere is about. It's bigger than basketball here. Believe me, it's about growing young people, and it's about using the game of basketball to help this community reach its full potential. And that experience is special. And when you can do it with somebody that's not, that's not just a coworker, when you can do it with somebody you truly enjoy being around, it just makes it that much more special.
Yeah, and kudos go to, Dr. Panu, our chancellor, and, Quin Monahan, our athletic director, to have the vision to, one, your NAIA going into Division II, but this is inaugural, adding men and women's basketball, history, legacy. If people don't know where we're located, we're in the Low Country. We're close to Hilton Head Island. Like, it's gorgeous here. You 20 minutes from Beaufort. You got the beach about 10 miles away, Bluffton, Savannah, Georgia, across the way. Just an incredible Low Country. And they haven't had certain sports or college to really get around. And we have great baseball, softball, soccer, track and field, the golf teams, and that's what's really, really exciting, is that we have all these sports, and now we're adding us as piece of the puzzle. And, and it's cultivating relationships. And I couldn't be more pleased with, meeting all the professors and the academia and how strong a lot of our schools are at USCB.
I think it's amazingly exciting. Every single person we meet on campus, it's everybody from the janitor every single day when I walk in. Hey, how you doing today, coach? What's up? Tell me what's new. And sometimes we have to do so many things when we're building a foundation, right? There's so much going on in our heads. There's not enough hours in the day. So you don't want to be not polite and take 10 minutes to say, oh, I got this person signed up and that person signed up and this is what we're doing. And we're in the community speaking, and we're raising money. And we're trying to do this, and we're getting the excitement out there, and we're building a foundation. I want to talk to her. I want to talk to every single person for 30 minutes every day. That's how people here are, just genuinely nice, and they care. They really care, and having those intimate relationships, I think, is what's special. And what I think is really cool is, you brought it up, we talk about legacy, we talk about building a foundation, we talk about being a part of history, right? I love saying that you're really building history. If you grow up and have a family, you're going to be able to tell that your family, I was a part of the foundation of a basketball program. So just that opportunity, it is appealing for me, and that excitement around that. And even on our interviews here, what interests you? This is such a great area. To be anywhere I had a chance to build a real family from scratch, it's kind of everybody's dream, right? Everybody dreams of having a family and being a part of a family experience, and being a part to see that from its inception is really special. But not only that, the area is an added bonus. The area we get to do it in is such an added bonus. So when you can combine family with the area, man, it's truly going to be special. And it's going to bring a gathering place, and to see our beautiful campus. I'm so excited to get basketball here. And you've talked about baseball and softball. Once we get their facilities on campus, and soccer, we have all these amazing coaches. I mean, I wish they could put a golf course on campus. So Coach Corey's great, and we're great fun. I don't know if golf will be ever on campus, but the other sports, and having everybody come to everybody's games, and seeing that grow. And that's just going to bring foot traffic to campus. And once we can do that, they see how beautiful this place is. It's so beautiful and so precious. So that's what I'm excited about. And the area and the campus, it's really an added bonus. When we can, man, I wish we would have got hired in Timbuktu. We'd have had a great experience. It's just this place just makes it special.
Well, it's been interesting. We both were hired at the very end of October. Haven't been here a real long time, but just the excitement that we have. But I can't talk enough about the academics and the professors that have helped us with recruits, and just us getting to know them. And, marine biology, the honors programs in Beaufort campus. And, we have a Hilton Head campus that, works with restaurant hotel management and those type of careers, their junior, senior year. And Bluffton is our main campus, which has about 850 to, 900 students there. And, business and marketing and nursing. We have a great nursing program, psychology, biology is obviously very big. And we could go through all of them and, interdisciplinary studies. And, it's just really neat that you can create your own major in interdisciplinary studies and everybody collaborates together. Just never been, just really, really impressed with, again, the fellowship, the colleagueship, really. So they're understanding that academics is number one, no question. And this is an added bonus. And, just the excitement now as we move forward, with, just building that foundation. So what are the key things for you with the type of young people you want to bring to campus?
I think that it takes a very special person, a very unique skill set. I think number one, when you talk about building a foundation, right? When you talk about starting something from the ground up, you talk about having a solid core. You got to have a solid concrete core. So for me, that means character number one. That means character number one, character number two, and character number three. Mm-hmm. All right. The number one thing when you build a foundation is character. We can't take any kind of risk on if there's a question mark by any type of character box that all the boxes we check. If there's even a question mark, now it may not even be, it may be a legitimate question mark, who knows? But if there's even a question mark there, can't do it, can't take a risk. Because if your foundation for your house isn't solid, guess what? The house is falling in. So we talk about character, we talk about citizenship, we talk about being a servant leader, and we talk about using those three characteristics to be championship worthy. That's all we're really trying to do. But we have to be very, very selective and do our research. I'm talking to your best friends. I'm talking to your other teammates. I'm talking to all your coaches. I'm talking to your school teachers. I'm talking to your principals. Anybody that has any type of interaction with you, I am checking in on to make sure you check that character box. That's first before talent. You hear the saying, you got to get guys you can lose with. Well, I want to get guys that have ultimate character, that are determined, that want to be a part of a family, that have great citizenship, that are servant leaders, that are championship worthy, and that I can win with. I want it all, but we need the character piece first, and I think that's foremost when you start a program. I want to get guys that enjoy challenges, right? I want to get guys that are motivated by, I got this great opportunity in front of me, and I know it's going to be a challenge, but I'm going to work every single day to make this a great experience. Like, I want guys that kind of like have a little bit of an underdog mentality. Mm-hmm. Like, they trust the staff, that the staff has their best interest in mind first and foremost. And you touched on all the great academic programs we have. But what I think is also special, too, in terms of that, when you come to a place like this, you get hands-on experience from day one in your classrooms. Yeah. The professors know you. And when they know you, they care about you. It's very unique at any school. If you go to a place and people that truly care about you, they're all saying, yeah, we care about you. But I saw one of our business professors when I just walked out into the parking lot. He shake my hand, Coach, when you bringing me the next one, man, I can't wait. Yeah. So when you get those type of professors and people that care about the program, guess what? Your chance of success rate is very, very high. Yeah. It's like it's almost like an insurance policy of success. When you go with people that care about you, they're going to have your back, because guess what? At any level of basketball, at any level of making a college decision, there's going to be challenges associated with it. Things are going to go wrong, but guess what? When things do go wrong, if you're around people that care about you, you're going to come out from that experience on top, and they're going to be able to help you through those challenges, and it's going to make that part a little bit easier, and they're going to have your back. And when you know your professors and you're involved in the community, like we talk about all this excitement for basketball, the professors will be at our games, faculty, staff, everybody's going to be at the games. So you're going to be known, right? You're going to be known in the community. So when you're known, guess what? There's you get some things that other students at other schools might not necessarily get, right? You're going to have connections outside of life. Like you're in the marine biology program, you're going to be working with marine biologists. They're going to be at your games. Right. If you're in the accounting program, there's going to be accountants at the games. You're going to be involved in some type of community service with a local business. You know, you're going to be whatever field you decide to do. You're going to know people in that field. So guess what? We want everybody to play basketball forever, but when it ends, and it ended for me very quickly, and I'm blessed to be in coaching, but you're going to have somebody that you could call just for advice. Hey, I'm interested in this. Can you help me out? Life is about connections, and life is about caring about people. So when you come to a place that cares about you, and you meet all these people, that you build all these connections, whatever you want to do in life, you're going to be able to pick up that phone and call somebody that's connected to it and that can advise you. Now, because we get all these things, we talk about what type of kids you like to bring in. Well, because we're going to have all these connections, everybody's going to know you're going to be known from day one. Well, guess what? You have to hold yourself to a higher standard. Yeah. You have to hold yourself to a higher standard. And if you can't do that, well, the character doesn't line up for what we're trying to bring in, because we know you're going to be known. We know everybody in the community is going to want to be who you are. They're going to want to be in your shoes. So now you have to hold yourself to a higher standard. And that's the character box that we have to check. We can't take a risk on.
Yep. Well, I know that a lot of people ask a question of, and I'm kind of answer it for both of us, but the question's always like, how do you do it? Like there's nothing in place. Like, how do you do this? Like, how do you recruit? How do you X, Y, and Z? And you talked about a lot of things that we have to do, which we're doing everything, but the recruiting piece, you can't bring in all freshmen. You're going to hopefully get a grad transfer, but we always talk about the provision of not being able to play the first 2 years in postseason. So how does that look? Well, a lot of kids just want to come and have an amazing experience. So maybe a grad transfer, some junior college kids using the transfer portal, and then finding your freshmen and a couple walk-ons that first year. Because in the next year, that year 2 and 3 is when you're kind of really building it even more so. So that's kind of, obviously the difficult part but the history and legacy, that's what's selling. Kids want to be part of something special these first 2 years. And I'm so excited about that. And then the next piece is, and the last kind of question that I have, and I'll talk a little bit for myself, but the style of play. I want to get up and down. I'm going to full court press. We want to steal and get some quick layups. We want to be able to shoot the three exceptionally well. We're going to play, free and fast, but obviously we're going to have to, half court, have some set plays when we have specific players that are going to be able to, knock down a ton of threes, or there's an isolation down low, or there's a mismatch. So, we want to play at a high velocity and get a lot of shots up. So tell everybody a little bit about your style.
I 100% share everything you just spoke about as far as how you're going to build the roster, the type of people we're going to bring in. It's amazing. It truly is that like that's what we see eye to eye. Whoa! But like it's like I want to. So this for all the coaches out there in the Peach Belt. I hope you're watching this, because this is how we're going to play. But guess what? You're not going to be able to scout we don't have no scout film right away. So you better listen to this podcast. All right. We're going to try to score 100 points. I'm telling you that right. We're going to try to score 100 points. We're going to play up and down. We're going to play fast. We're going to do a little bit of a platoon system at start, because we talk about building a program, right? I want guys to experience. Guys, what do you guys want to do? I want to play. Everybody wants to play, right? Want to be out there. So we're going to platoon. We're going to play 5 in, 5 out, at the start. We're going to play hard. We're going to press. We're going to run and trap. We're going to shoot threes. We're going to be throwing lobs. Our style is it's going to be fun to play in. Like if you watch a national championship in Division II this year, you saw both teams that press and trap and try to score 100 points, and all the coaches know how to pull up synergy, and they can look at all the points per possessions and all that stuff. And if they think the style don't work, then they're crazy, because those two teams wouldn't have made the national championship. So we're going to play fun and fast and be exciting. And when you talk about program building, Coach, I think that, part of program building is playing a style that people want to watch and that players want to play in. I love, there's great coaches out there. Coach Bennett at Virginia, amazing coach, right? That style works. They win championships. They win Final Fours. But it's hard when you're building a program. I'm not trying to play mover blocker and try to get the best shot and wear down the clock. And I don't want the score to be 50 to 55. Right. I want the score to be 105 to 100. And coach about you're undisciplined on defense. No, we're going to we want to speed that thing up, and we want as many possessions in a game, and we're going to play fast and fun, and we know how to do it. And I think, coach, and you might have some more knowledge on this. Like I was told a couple years ago, if you take over a program, and you're, I'm not afraid. They can't say we're at the bottom of the league. We're below the bottom. We're below the bottom because we don't have anything here yet, right? So if say you take over the last place program in a league, what are you going to do? What's going to be your philosophy? Well, guess what? I think you can steal some games if you play a unique style that none of the teams play in, especially if you take over a bottom team. So like every league, we all know that as coaches, every league kind of has their style of that league style and how they play. But if you bring somebody new or you're at the bottom and then you try to play somewhere new, guess what? You might drop a game or two because the style maybe is not as polished, but you're going to win some games that you probably shouldn't win because you're going to be hard to prepare for, and you're going to play unique and play fun. So that's why I'm excited about it. I think they like you talk about what Quin and our presidents have done, man. They hire people that have a vision, that understand program building. It's not just we're not just basketball coaches here, and that's why I love it. We're legitimately building something from scratch. We're selling gym memberships to a gym that ain't even here yet. Who in their right mind would buy a gym membership with no gym? That's crazy, right? But when you sell that history, that we're going to play fun and exciting, and you're going to be a part of something for a lifetime, and you got to be proud of that. You got to take pride in it. That's the sell. And nobody's ahead of you right now. Listen, there's no players ahead of you right now. So if you come in, we're not saying you're going to play right away. You're going to have the opportunity to compete and play right away, And when you play those styles, you got multiple guys playing multiple minutes and positions. And I think it's going to be fun. I'm excited to watch and light the crowds up.
Well, Ron, I can't thank you enough. I can't wait for both of us to start this. Great journey together, 11-11. Yeah. Our first game, baby, 11-11, 23. We got to rock that gym. But thank you very much, and let's get it done.
Thanks for having me. Let's get butts in the seats, and let's get it done, Coach, and it's going to happen.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me. I love it. Have a great day.
Thank you. We'll be back in a minute.
Love it.
University of South Carolina Beaufort has 3 beautiful locations near the beach: Bluffton, Beaufort, and Hilton Head Island. Our students find our small classes and personalized instruction very rewarding. USCB students have unique opportunities with internships, community service projects, international programs, fieldwork, and research. The USCB Sand Sharks have added men's and women's basketball, and we are excited to be new provisional members of NCAA Division II and the Peach Belt Conference. Fins up from USCB.
With another kill.
He shoots and he scores!
Oh, big hit.
It seems as of late there are so many monumental events taking place on our campus. Most certainly many historical firsts. Our acceptance into NCAA Division II provisional process, our acceptance into the prestigious Peach Belt Conference. Thank you to our commissioner and deputy commissioner for being here with us today. The addition of men's and women's basketball, huge addition for the university.
Well, I'm going to welcome our next guest, Quin Monahan, the athletic director at USCB. He's done so many great things, obviously, in his career. So welcome, Quin.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. I look forward to spending a few minutes together.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. So, Quin, kind of tell everybody a little bit about your background and kind of your path of obviously now being at USCB. Give us your background, please.
Sure. So
hard to believe, but I've been at USCB now for 11 years. I'm in my 11th year at the university. Have been in athletic administration for close to 20. Prior to USCB, I was at Belmont Abbey College, another Division II school just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. Spent a few years at Belmont Abbey, had a great experience there, loved it. Charlotte and that whole area is really a nice area. Prior to that, though, really cut my teeth in athletic administration at Savannah College of Art and Design, believe it or not. An NAI art school in Savannah, Georgia. Was there for probably in athletics for about 8 years. Had the opportunity to start in athletics. The director of athletics at Flagler College, who is in our conference, was the AD at SCAD. And yeah, I played and been involved in soccer my whole life. And the soccer coach left. Pretty untimely departure on his part. So I reached out to the AD. I didn't know who he was. I was working in academic services. I reached out and just offered my services, anything I can do. I knew I wasn't prepared to coach collegiate soccer, but just wanted to extend my self for anything I could do. We kind of struck up a friendship, and eventually I became the academic advisor for athletics and then assistant AD for academics and compliance. And the rest is history. Judd left there. I became the athletic director for a couple of years and then moved on to Belmont Abbey. This opportunity came about, and I couldn't not come back to the Lowcountry.
Absolutely. So your journeys, which is so nice, is that you started from the grassroots, and you continued to just build your resume. And worked exceptionally hard, and and now being back at USCB, it's been 11 years. So kind of explain the NAIA model and the sports and kind of that growth over the 11 years that you've been there.
Sure. So actually, it goes back even further than 11 years. When I was at SCAD, we got a phone call from USCB, and they were considering their options. They were just starting athletics, so they were looking at what are their options, and primarily in this area, they were looking at D2 or NAIA. At the time at SCAD, we were NAIA, and did a little, consulting, if you will, with them to talk about what their opportunities were, and the NAIA was a good fit. And honestly, it was a really good fit for USCB. We found a home there. We were able to start our athletics program, joined what then was the Florida Sun Conference, eventually became the Sun Conference, very Florida-centric conference. So we spent a lot of time on the road. We had a couple teams that were based out of Miami. Miami's a long trip. I think we've got some games scheduled in Miami next year. You're going to learn that's a heck of a bus ride, a good 9+ hours. So I don't miss those days of 9-hour drives. But we started athletics in the NAIA. It was a very good fit for us. And as much as I appreciate our opportunity to grow in the NAIA, one of the consistent struggles we had was NAIA, what is that? People just don't know. It doesn't have the name recognition that NCAA does. The best way to explain the NAIA is to say, yeah, it's really similar to NCAA Division II, and then the light bulb goes off, and they know what you're talking about. Why say you're like D2? Let's just become D2. We found a really great home in the Peach Belt. Peach Belt has been a fantastic home for USCB. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work, to be very truthful, but it's been a great opportunity. I call it, we're experiencing some short-term pains for some long-term gains.
And so when you came here and did NAIA, did you have all the sports that you have in place now, obviously, besides just adding men and women's basketball?
We did. So we've got, obviously, we haven't added anything in quite some time. We have baseball and softball, women's soccer. both we have golf, we have cross country, outdoor track and field, and we did add indoor track and field a couple years back. Just another opportunity. You know, ultimately, everything that we do is to offer our student athletes excellent intercollegiate athletic opportunities. Indoor track and field was just that for us, and it's proven to be a great addition to our program. So basketball will be the first thing we've truly added in a long time, and could not be more excited about what it's going to do for our campus, for our community, for the Low Country. Everybody is just on board, thrilled, and excited. And you mentioned it earlier, but 11-11, it's going to be a great day.
So absolutely. So for most people, they might not understand, like, NAIA going to Division II, like, what's the process? When did you apply? What type of legislation? Like, how long did that take? And then explain, like, the provisional years, kind of explain that process.
Yeah, sure. It's been a long process. I came to USCB back in 2012, and I think since then I've been having conversations with Mr. Brunk, our commissioner. It's been on our radar for that long. Our former chancellor, Dr. Jane Upshaw, knew that that was the vision. She was supportive of that vision. We weren't ready yet. We just weren't in a place where we had the foundation that we needed in order to do so. When Dr. Penu came, we both recall sitting at the Redfish restaurant during his interview. And thankfully, I was part of the committee, and I got to sit next to he and his wife, Judith. And I shared with him then the vision. This was 7 years ago. The vision we have for making an application eventually and moving NCAA Division II. Thankfully, he caught that vision. He was excited about that opportunity, and we moved forward with it. What that process looks like is just, frankly, a ton of work. We had to reevaluate everything that we do, all of our handbooks, our manuals, our strategic plan, and we didn't start from fresh, but we had to redo it all, and it's been a lot. The application process from NAI to D2, frankly, is very daunting. It's exhaustive, and it's very thorough. Believe it or not, it's easier now, I think, than it used to be back in the day. Once we submit, so we've been working on the application probably 18 months prior to submission. We submitted in February of last year, and were accepted into the NCAA Division II process. A caveat in order to be accepted into that process is you have to have sponsorship, if you will, with a conference. That's where my conversations with Mr. Brunk came in handy. We found a great home in the Peach Belts, and they've been, welcoming to us in that. Once we secured that membership, we made our application to NCAA Division II. We were accepted into that provisional process. It was not a slam dunk. We were as excited as anyone when we got the news that we were in. Yeah. What that looks like from then on is it's a 3-year process. Graduating from provisional year 1 to 2 to 3. We are almost, we're a little over halfway through our first year, and it's going exceedingly well. We had visitation from the membership committee last month, and by all indications, everything we're doing is moving us in a really positive way towards advancing into year 2. We won't know that, obviously, for a while. We're waiting on a report from the membership committee to give us areas that we need to focus on, things we need to work on in order to move to that next step. But all indications are we are moving forward in a really positive way.
Yeah. And like you said, it's daunting. People don't understand behind the scenes how much is put into, changing conferences, going Division II to Division I, NAIA to Division II. And so kudos to the university and you and your staff for working so hard to make this happen. And then my next question, you're going into Division II, you have your sports. Why add men and women's basketball on top of it?
Oh, we've dreamt about this day for seems like forever. It's a natural progression for us. Believe it or not, we don't have any indoor sports So all of our sports are outdoor, and we don't have, other than indoor track and field, we don't have a winter sport. So it just really makes sense. And to be frank, a smallish campus, we've got 2,000, a little over 2,000 students. Without either basketball or football, there's just that missing element, especially when it comes to campus spirit and community engagement. Love soccer. I played soccer my whole life, but it doesn't have that community draw that a basketball program will. So we've identified it as a niche that the Lowcountry needs, and I think will be very, very supportive of. Look, our campus borders Sun City. We'll cut a swath through the berm there between us and Sun City. I'll create hundreds of parking spaces for golf carts. They can come over in droves and support basketball, and they will.
Okay. So, yeah, so we're talking about, and we're out meeting people. We've been doing a lot of functions together. So if you can share kind of the vision of the facility, and, you know, how many seats, and kind of just the, you know, kind of the plan right now for the rec center, so people can kind of understand the excitement behind this.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun venue. So we have a rec center now. To be honest, when it was built 5-6 years ago, it was not built with intercollegiate basketball in mind. It was built with recreation and student service minded type activities. So therefore, it doesn't have really currently. This is going to change very soon. It wasn't built with locker rooms and with seating capacity. We are about to enter a renovation project, nearly $3 million project, where we are adding locker rooms, additional offices, an expanded athletic training room. We're going to expand our fitness center a little bit, extra offices, study / media room, and of course locker rooms. And along with that, we're going to add seating for, really, it'll be just shy of 900. And I like that idea because it's going to be an intimate, tight venue. But our students are so excited, and our faculty and our staff and our community are so excited. I can't even imagine what that place is going to sound like with 900 rabid Sand Shark fans in there. So we'll start that renovation project this summer. I actually have a meeting tomorrow with the architect to finalize some additional aspects of that plan. This summer we'll start. We've ordered we're in the process of ordering those things that need a lot of lead time: the bleachers and the floor. Putting in a whole new floor in the gym, in the rec center. So we're ordering those now so that once we demo, they'll be on site and ready to install. This summer, we'll get that project going in order to be ready to play in November, 11/11.
Yep. At 11/11. And so that's the exciting part. You know, you get to build it, your own footprint, kind of design it. So is there anything that people can do to help? We talked about fundraising. Is there anything that we can do as we're talking to people? I know we're out communicating, but, you know, I guess what are the thoughts or needs from you or the, you know, fundraising side? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, look, the university has supported as well.
Absolutely.
They honestly have. We're blessed that university has made the commitment to add a sport. It's not an easy nor cheap endeavor to add a sport. So the university has supported as well. However, there are obviously always needs, and so we're going to always be in a continual ask phase. So, you know, financial support always needed. And I tell folks, look, your money is your hard-earned money.
Right.
I used to hate, well, I won't say hate, but I've grown to be much more comfortable with the fundraising and the development side of what I do. Look, I never thought that I would be a fundraiser. I didn't get into athletic administration to go fundraise. I tell students all the time, if you can sell and if you can raise money, you'll be employable in any field at any time. So you do those things, you'll always have a job. What makes fundraising, especially for projects like this, for me, so much easier and less of a burden is I'm very passionate about what we do.
Right.
I'm so fortunate I get to do what I do. There are days when, frankly, this is a job, and it's, you know, I got to get up and go to work.
Yep.
But most days it's not. I love what I do. I love my coaches, the coaching staff. I love our student athletes. Just really blessed to do what I get to do. What I do. It's a whole lot easier to make an ask and ask somebody to support something like that when I believe in it. And I do. I believe our coaches are providing phenomenal experiences for our student athletes and building our community. It's crazy. And Ron, and you talk about this all the time, but it's a little crazy. We get to do what we do.
Right.
You break it down, and I tell recruits too. Ultimately, we're playing with this little orange ball that we're bouncing on a court, trying to put it through a metal ring. If you just break it down, it's just play. It's just a game. But man, the lessons and the life that we can give students because of this little game, I love it. And so, we need things. We need support, financial. We need our community to get behind us. We need to sell out every game. You know, we have dreams of building an arena on campus. We're working on the funding for that now, for a 3,500 to 5,000 seat arena on our campus that'll serve our community. Look, I won't say that we're going to sell out a 3,500 seat arena, but I'm not saying we won't either.
Right. Absolutely. So when you went through this process, you added men and women's basketball, you had to open it up to the country. And I know you hired Ron and I, but what were the key things for you to really look for? And I think we all, and it's just kind of expressing that we all have the same kind of values or things that we're looking in coaches, because you've hired such great people before. The athletic coaches that you've hired are just such amazing people. But what were the key things for you, you know, looking for a coach that's got to start from the ground up, like there's nothing in place? So share those ideas. Yeah,
sure. It's similar to Ron's answer, what he's looking for. Character.
Yeah.
That's vital to me. I have to have people. I want to surround myself with good people who buy this vision. So I'm going to give a little tip to anyone that ever interviews with me. If you ever want a job and you're sitting in an interview with me, I'm going to ask you one question, the very first question I'm going to ask. And so here's a tip. I'm just going to ask a simple question. It sounds simple, but it's one of the most important, I believe. For me, it is. It's just simply this. Why do you coach? It's popular to ask now, what's your why? I've done this line before. What's your why was popular. But why do you coach? And I'm looking for something specific there, and it can be phrased in lots of different ways. But what's the reason you're doing this? And I get lots of responses, but ultimately, it's about, for me, surrounding myself with coaches who get what we're doing, that we're using that crazy little game where you bounce a ball or you kick a ball or you run. You just run for the sake of running? That's crazy. But we're using that to build men and women that are going to build our community and that are going to impact lives. And so I'm looking for coaches that are ready to use their sport to impact lives. Now, don't get me wrong. I also want to win. I'm very competitive. I hate to lose. Embarrassed to say sometimes I don't take losses real well. But at the end of the day, it's really not completely about winning and losing. And I say that as much as I want to win. It's about developing young men and women and using character, or using sport to build character. And obviously get the degree. Some of these students aren't going to pursue education without this opportunity to play the sport they love. Let's combine those. Let's use the sport they love to be able to get a degree, to surround themselves around people like you and Coach Ron and Jay and Ted and Cody. Look, you're right. We've got a great coaching staff. So I'm looking for somebody that's going to kind of fit that mold. I'm not when I do a coaching search, the slate is clear. I'm not necessarily ever looking for, hey, I've got to have somebody that's got this experience or this championship. So I've got a variety of coaches that are seasoned and brand new. So we'll look at basketball, for instance. Ron's never coached a basketball game as the head coach. He's acted in that role. He's been an associate head. You've done that for a number of years successfully. Both have that same vision and that same drive. And what's amazing is right now, while you guys are quartered so closely together in your offices, to watch you guys build off of each other. I love it for Ron that he gets to have a veteran coach who totally gets it. And you guys are like, siblings, and you just build off each other. And the camaraderie that you built over there already is amazing. I'd like to say that's because I'm really good at what I do.
You can take credit.
Very lucky at times.
No,
I'll take a little bit.
Absolutely. The other aspect, and I'll talk just a few things and we're going to wrap up, but I believe the housing situation on USCB's campus is amazing. I mean, it's a 4-bedroom suite. Everybody gets their own bedroom. 2 rooms down on one end, and they get to share a bath. Same thing on the other end, and they have a kitchenette and a nice sitting area, but washer and dryer. Like, these places are just immaculate. So the housing is like the best, one of the best, and it's all that way. But I have to mention Chick-fil-A. That has really helped the campus. I mean, there's more foot traffic on the campus besides, just people wanting to come and know what we're all about. And people want to come and meet you and do a facility tour with adding men and women's basketball, and they have lifelong learning. But Chick-fil-A, man, that's going to bring everybody to campus.
A game changer. Look, they've been holding Chick-fil-A over our heads for a couple years and starting to doubt whether it was going to happen or not. But baby, it's here, and it is a game changer. Let me tell you too, our housing is second to none. I don't know about you, Coach, but when I was in college, I had some sad little dorms.
Oh yeah,
me and a roommate, and back then with the big communal bathrooms.
Oh yeah.
It would never fly today.
No,
our students
not at all.
Are beyond amazed when they come and see our quarter. And here's the thing. All of our housing is identical. I don't care if you're a freshman coming in, you're going to be in a similar house, a similar apartment to one of our seniors. And what's even more amazing, if you happen to live in Beaufort, same model with a balcony.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't get a whole lot better. And our housing, and our dining, look, I don't care where you are in the country, students are going to complain about dining. Our dining even, I think, is fantastic. Look, and I was in college, I was eating shepherd's pie 3 days a week. It was disgusting. It was that or cold cereal. Look, I love my college experience, but dining was not the highlight.
No, I know. Absolutely.
Here, the selections and the opportunities, not even to mention Chick-fil-A, phenomenal.
Absolutely. Well, I can't thank you enough for being on this podcast and talking about USCB and all the great things ahead. And you're a great champion and a great leader for us. So I really appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I get going. I get pretty passionate about what we do. I'm thankful for the opportunity, and I'm thankful for you coming to join us. And I'm excited about what's going to happen, especially 11/11. It's going to be a great day.
Well, wonderful. Thanks again.
Thank you,
talk
Coach.
soon. Yep. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. It's been absolutely a pleasure being with everybody and sharing March Madness over these last 4 weeks together. And obviously want everybody to be excited and look forward to maybe some of you coming and being a part of 11/11 of 23 with our new program starting. So until then, thank you and goodbye. I hope I continue to prove how passionate I am and how well I'm ready for this challenge and a great opportunity. Passion. Passion is what pretty much gets your culture. Because if you're passionate about something, you're building that foundation from scratch. And that's what we need to do here. And that culture of caring, loving one another. You have to love on people. You have to love your players. And you have to do it in a very, very positive way. So, tide is rising, fins up. Let's get it done.